Six Flags Fiesta Texas recently announced a partnership with Skyline Attractions, with them bringing the first Peace Bowl family coaster to their park in 2023. Specifically, they will be introducing the dueling model to replace their bumper cars, and this acts as a world's first coaster, being the first coaster of this model type from Skyline to ever be built. We had a strong feeling that this was going to be the case, not necessarily for Fiesta Texas, but because of the fact that Six Flags heavily showed off the fact that they were working with Skyline Attractions at IAAPA. They were in talks with them, as well as ProSlide, and it's very surprising to see results from this happen so fast. So, in this video, let's take a look at what other parks may be receiving Skyline coasters, and why I think that Great Adventure may be at the top of that list. So, like I said, Six Flags is working with Skyline, as was revealed at IAAPA a month ago. This is very, very exciting, as there's a lot of parks that could really use this type of model, specifically their family coaster model. It's very unique. Of course, it's a single rail coaster, and like I said, it's a coaster. What is there not to love? So, what parks could be getting it? Obviously, like I said, I think Great Adventure might get it, and here's why. For those of you who don't know, Six Flags does actually have a previous history with Skyline Attractions. Back in 2018, they opened another prototype coaster, Harley Quinn Crazy Coaster, at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom. This was one of Skyline's Skywarp models. They used RMC single rail track and their own trains and design. It didn't work out too well. The ride wound up being quite a disaster for the park and everyone who got to ride it, because it was rough, very uncomfortable, and it's already gone. The park scrapped it, and it's safe to say that Six Flags did not forget about this past experience with Skyline before they went into work with them, which is why I believe it is very possible that Six Flags probably got one killer deal on these coasters. If I had to guess, Six Flags probably bought in bulk, as they usually do. When you take a look at other clone models, they have the S&S Freespin model, which was bought in bulk and sent across to numerous parks, as well as the Justice League Battle for Metropolis Dark Ride and Zamperla's Giant Discovery model that has also been sent around the chain to multiple parks. Usually when Six Flags does buy something that is a little on the cheap side, a little on the small side, they will clone it and they will buy in bulk. This ride model specifically is very easy to clone, as these layouts are pre-designed. They're all just going to be cloned. They're not looking to design custom layouts, at least for Six Flags, as far as we can tell, considering the fact that the coaster Six Flags Fiesta Texas is getting, the layout was already shown off at IAAPA, so it's safe to assume that this was just bought. So, safe to say that they probably bought more than one, which means there's got to be other parks that are getting these. Six Flags Great Adventure is likely going to be making an announcement regarding their 2023 additions and modifications in spring of 2023. They did the same thing this year in 2022 by announcing what they were doing for the season right before park opening in around February or March, if I remember correctly. They, of course, made some enhancements to the park, and I think that we're going to be seeing that next year as well. However, and I know this is bold, I do think there's a pretty good chance we could also be getting a Skyline single rail coaster. Six Flags Fiesta Texas has been going crazy with investments lately. They just got Dr. Diabolical's Cliffhanger. They have a great park president who's very dedicated to making the park the absolute greatest it could possibly be. And I do think that this treatment will probably continue on to the other parks that could be considered the favorites of the Six Flags chain. It's safe to say there's probably a group of 5, 6, maybe more Six Flags parks that are seen as the best, the most profitable, etc. And Great Adventure is definitely in that list. They are consistently one of, if not the most attended Six Flags parks of them all. It has a lot of land. It's one of the biggest, if not the biggest, amusement park out there. It's a really big, sizable park with a really good population to pull from. It's right in between Philadelphia and New York City. There's a lot of people around here to pull into Six Flags Great Adventure. They're also getting some major competition, specifically from Hershey Park. Obviously, a Skyline single rail would not be competing with Wildcats Revenge, which is a large RMC hybrid coaster with inversions and airtime, but it would be a start, at least to prepare for what they're getting in 2024. I think that Fiesta Texas getting two coasters back-to-back, being Dr. Diabolical's Cliffhanger this year and the new Skyline family coaster next year, also shows that Six Flags is willing to put back-to-back coaster editions. So, If you've been watching my channel for a while, you would know that I have been a strong believer that Six Flags Great Adventure is building a massive coaster for 2024, which is their 50th anniversary. After all, Fiesta Texas got their big coaster for their 30th anniversary with Dr. Diabolical's Cliffhanger, so it's safe to assume that the same may be happening for Great Adventure. And this is also why I think it's not too far-fetched to believe that Great Adventure could get double coaster editions. I think it's very possible that they can get a Skyline coaster in 2023 and then a big coaster in 2024. That way they can appeal to both the thrill seekers and the families, which would echo the sentiment that Salim has been trying to put out in the most recent quarterly earnings call, where they are willing to start adding new coasters, but they're still looking to cater to families as well. So where would this be? Which model would it be? How could this even happen? So for those of you who haven't been to Great Adventure ever since Jersey Devil was built, there's quite a bit of room still left in the old Looney Tunes Seaport area. There's specifically a area next to Jersey Devil, in between Junior Thrill Seekers, behind that one restaurant before you get to Jersey Devil, where there's a decent amount of room, and we actually recently spotted some markers. Those markers, from what I remember, were not there previously, and again, this is a total shot in the dark. I have no proof or evidence to really back this up, but I think that would be a great spot for one of these coasters. What they could do is they can get rid of that bridge, and of course they're putting in Barnstormer for 2023 presumably, which is going to be right in that Junior Thrill Seekers area, kind of a little before Storm Chaser and Jersey Devil's turnaround, and that could be a really good spot to bridge the other area of Junior Thrill Seekers, or just fill in that space in general. Instead of having those weird pathways over by Jersey Devil, you could have a Skyline single rail family coaster going through that back area, and maybe they could even improve the restaurant slash food area. It's not really a restaurant. They have numerous food locations in that yellowish building before you get to Jersey Devil. I think the best model for Great Adventure to get would be the dueling model, which is the exact same model that Fiesta Texas is getting. I think they got to go big or go home. That's the biggest model that I've seen of the Skyline single rail family coaster, so they might as well go with this model. Obviously, this may sound crazy, but I'm a true believer in the prospect of this happening. I think it's definitely a possibility, and it really would flesh out Great Adventure's coaster lineup. They have a lot of thrill coasters, and then nothing too great in terms of family coasters. They have a couple really good ones like Skull Mountain, Runaway Train, and Dark Knight. But that's about it that aren't really kid coasters. I think the Skyline coaster, well, yes, it's definitely still a kid-friendly coaster. It's still a little more on the thrilling side. I think it could probably fit in with the category of Skull Mountain and Dark Knight. And it looks like a really cool ride, especially with the Aurora LED light package. I think that'll really make the ride shine. And overall, I think it's a pretty good idea for Great Adventure to get one of these Skyline coasters, especially now that we're seeing that Fiesta Texas is getting one in 2023. But that's all I have to say about this subject. If you guys agree, disagree, think I'm crazy, think I'm right on point, let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye, guys.